Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Let's see, it's just starting to, there we go, just starting to come online here. And I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining me for this 4-day live training experience called Discover Your Divinity. So let's see, whether you are tuning in live or watching the replay. I'd love to know, where you're tuning in from. So I'm going to let people hop on. I do want to know that, but I'm going to move on for a moment. So I'll introduce myself, and my name is Danielle Fort. Let's see. I am a New Earth Ascension guide, as well as the author of a book called Wild Spirit Fire: Freedom from Fear and Separation. And so, as a New Earth Ascension guide, what I really feel that I'm here on the planet for at this time, what my mission is to really, to help people awaken to who and what they truly are. And I think so many of us are starting to answer that call, and we're going to be doing that in different ways because I truly believe that we're all unique puzzle pieces to this larger grand puzzle, and we're all coming online. So one of the ways that I serve is through channelings, channeled messages, and sort of just connecting with spirit in that way so that I can bring through messages from a higher realm. And so, oh, awesome. I'm starting to see the comments. So it looks like some people are from Sarasota. Awesome, that's where I'm at. Colorado. Hi, Mary. Hi, Stacy. And Sarasota, amazing. Love my local people. If you are tuning in, if you're live, if you want to put in the comments, you can put hashtag live innocent hearts if you would like. And if you are watching the replay, you can comment hashtag replay innocent hearts. So yeah, back to what I was saying, just really talking about this, ascension, this great awakening that we are now all going through, and sort of the different ways that we, play our roles in that. So, so like I said, I have a book. It's a channeled text. So, and just to mention, that's available on Amazon now. So it's called Wild Spirit Fire: Freedom from Fear and Separation. All right. So back to the training. So we've got 4 really exciting days here planned, and what these days are going to encompass are, I'm going to be sharing with you some channeled messages, guided meditations, so it'll be experiential. We've got some journal prompts, which reminds me that there's the PDF playbook I've posted inside the group, and you'll find that in the featured section. So even if you're watching live right now, you can pull that. You should be able to pull up in your browser and just grab that. So if you'd like to follow along with the playbook, we've got question prompts in there and some other really juicy things. So go ahead and grab that if you'd like. And so, okay, I'm just going to come back to, let's see, myself just for a moment. So I've been doing, deep healing work for over a decade. So I absolutely love to hold this kind of space, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So, okay, also one last little announcement. So I mentioned a scholarship inside the Facebook group. So it's not too late to invite your friends to join. And this scholarship, by the way, is for a course that I'm launching. We'll be running here very shortly. So if you want to qualify for that, you just come to as many 3 of the live trainings, invite 3 friends, and come to 3 of the, I just already said that, and that's it. Oh, and comment as much as you would like and can. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and set an intention for today. So, and for the 4 days of our training. So I'm just going to ask you to take a moment and take a few deep breaths. I'm going to too. And we're just going to put out our intentions for today and this 4-day experience. What is it that you would love to walk away with? Experience, know about yourself on a deeper level. And go ahead and just put that intention out. And now we're going to, last little bit of announcement. So if you save your burning questions for Friday, which is the day that I'll be doing the questions and answers. If you do have a quick question, you can ask it. We'll see if I can get to it, but we're going to save most of them for the end. So, okay. I'm going to start by reading just something I wrote not too long ago, this year, maybe I don't know how many months ago. And it's called "You Are Divine, So Let Yourself Shine." We were tricked into believing that we are sinful, bad, wrongdoers, that suffering is what we deserve, that we'll never be as good as royalty, never as good as celebrities, not worthy of a charmed life. That was our fall from grace. To have forgotten who we truly are. Emanations, sparks of God's source consciousness, expressing in all of its glory. To be led astray from this inner knowing and to believe we were something other than divine perfection was a game we agreed to play with ourselves. What now? Here we are, awakening to our divine origins, realizing we have been hiding from ourselves all along. Through mass media, we were fed and modeled, quite literally, the lowest consciousness human behavior thinkable. Being told it was our natural propensity to war, to compete for resources, to lie, cheat, and steal from each other. And for so many of us, this is a nightmare fading fast. Yet there is still work to be done to heal and free ourselves so that we can return to our divine roots and manifest a heavenly experience as a unified whole. So I'm curious, who here believes that that innocence is your true nature? Let me know in the comments, because I would love to know. So my teacher in Bali, her name's Amara, she told me once when I was interviewing her, she told me that if your parents didn't relate to you in your pure divine perfection from the day of your birth, even if it was one time that they didn't, that this would put you into a tailspin of unworthiness, not good enough, feeling like you've done something wrong. And so it's pretty wild to think we've come now out of the third dimensional experience where it was harder to tune into that unconditional love and to embody that. And so it's pretty likely that most of us had parents that did not treat us as our divinely perfected selves. And that's part of this whole, like I said, game that we're playing, this whole ascension game. So that's all good, and there's no one to blame. It's just interesting to know that that is what and who we truly are, but we haven't been related to it by everyone, or ourselves even, especially. Usually it's more us that we're so hard on ourselves, and we can't see the beauty within us. So it's my inner knowing that, yes, we are born with an innocent heart. And, but what's happened is that we've been herded like sheep into the belief of separation consciousness. So now so this belief that, I am separate from the whole, from source, from God source consciousness, or the universe, whatever word that you would like to call that larger part of us that we know, most of us know, that we are connected to. Some of us know that we are one with, but for such a long time we've bought into the belief, so many of us, and sometimes it's more subconscious, that we're not connected. And like I said, we're feeling these unworthiness or bad or wrong feelings, even if they're layers down there that we haven't gotten to and let go of. So from this macro level, societally, what's been going on due to religious dogmas, control agendas, certain beings who are so far in separation consciousness they've completely lost the knowing, the inner knowing that they are one with this higher power. Because of that control, we've been sort of shepherded into this separation-based mentality, and so we believe that our lifeline to the divine is outside of us, that we must earn a living, like we have to earn the right to be here. And so this puts us on a hamster wheel in a survival mentality. And because we're just constantly trying to survive, there's no time to discover, our inner power or our spiritual gifts. And we're inundated all the while with these ads in the media telling us, showing us these impossible standards of beauty, that money will solve all of our problems, and that we've got to do all of this alone, and we're so alone. Not to mention, we're in this culture that has become addicted to caffeine and coffee, and so now we're sourcing this artificial life force energy from outside of us because I'm not lit up by a passionate job or life. I'm in this sort of slave system of sorts because I have to do this thing. I don't even want to do it. I mean, think about how much heaviness that puts on our being and our field. So now, because we're so caffeinated, a lot of us, our nervous system is shot, and we're more reactive to things. We're not centered and in a place of peace. And so now also, we're with that, we're stressed, we're anxious, we're depressed, and we're popping pharmaceutical pills to try to figure this all out. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? We're saying that. So many of us, I can almost hear the cry through the fields, and nothing is. It's just we've been so conditioned and programmed. So, and then all the actions that have followed, like I'm saying. So now we're also numbing ourselves and our emotions with addictions. We're trying to nurse our unhealed traumas. So all of this is going on, has been going on, and really this is causing a disassociation, and more separation from our true selves and our true divine nature. So this has made us more easily persuadable and controllable. And I don't say that to scare anyone. In fact, quite the opposite. It's the good news is we are here to reclaim our sovereignty now. And I'm going to get a bit into sovereignty in just a little bit, but I guess if you would tell me in the comments if you can relate to what I'm sharing with you and what I'm talking about, as far as just our culture and what's going on, what's the temperature, what's been going on. Now, luckily, things are changing. Like I said, we're in this great awakening and the ascension process, and so we're awakening to all this. We're starting to realize, whoa, wait a second, what have I been participating in? And many of us are starting to pull out of that 3D matrix, that survival and fear-based matrix, linear matrix. So, and we're making our way back to unity consciousness, which is that remembrance that we are one with God source consciousness, the universe, all that is, nature, each other. We're connected. and ultimately won. So, and we live in love, and we are able to return to our childlike innocence. So I'm going to share a story, my story, with you. And this is the story of when I was younger. When I was in, kindergarten through second grade, I was really just my full blown expression. I was truly myself, from what I can remember, because I remember loving school, loving all the kids, at school. I'd wear my hair in different hairstyles all the time. I was creative. I was drawing. I was making stuff. I was friends with all the different kids. I'd play with all the kids on the playground. I wasn't judging. I was just really, what do I feel like today? I want to play monkey bars with the girls today, or I want to play soccer with the boys today. And I was just being me. Now, in third grade, I had to move schools basically because my mom was changing her work location. So I went into that school, and for whatever reason, I couldn't make friends. It was the weirdest thing. It was different almost from my other school. And the kids seemed to all have their friend groups. And so I couldn't find my way into the groups. I couldn't, it was like they wouldn't delve me in for Foursquare. I was like, what, why? But it seemed like they had their little thing going, and I didn't feel welcome basically. So what I made that mean about me was that there's something wrong with me. And I started to develop this perfection complex, and I started to really begin filtering my expression. So I guess I didn't mention, but at my old school I used to draw, and I was a really good drawer, and I would like enter these contests with the kids, and I would just sit there and from my imagination just come up with these really cool drawings. And I would even like compete with the other kids, and I would always win. But I remember they would sit there trying to draw like a perfect flower, for instance, and I would sit there and I would like really come up with this very organic thing that just I pulled from my imagination. So just saying, I was really connected, to that larger part of me, and that was expressing and showing itself. But in third grade, like I said, when I went there, I started to make these stories, up about myself and not feeling good about myself. So then I started tracing drawings, and I remember I would take like, I don't know, a cardboard box of a cereal box, and I would draw that. I would trace that and then pretend like I drew it, because I didn't think that these organic, my expression was good enough anymore. So I began the filtration process, started to dim my light and try to conform to meet these expectations that I thought were, on me, even though they weren't. Or maybe they were, but it didn't matter. Unfortunately, I was making all this up in my own little world. And, I became actually very depressed by middle school because I kind of continued this pattern, and I really shut down my true self like all the way. And by eighth grade, I was truly a shell of myself. I had gone through some different experiences with girls and bullying and saying things. And I just took it all very personally. So I'm curious, how about you? I'd love to know in the comments, like, can you remember a time when you started to feel really self-conscious? Or maybe you just, just started to, be more conscious of yourself and people around you and what they thought. So I'm going to read a channeling that I brought through, called Trusting Yourself and Your Innocence next. So innocence is a beautiful thing, as it is not ignorance, nor is it stupidity. It is what you are at the core of your very being. Your innocence gets buried underneath false premises such as societal constructs and ancestral beliefs that have you thinking you are unworthy, not good enough, and that the world is a threat to your safety. Here, you lose touch with your innate inner knowing, and you are unable to trust yourself. So you place your trust in authorities, quote unquote, outside of you. Even when you know the answer deep down inside, you negate this inner knowing because everyone around you is doing something different. This is called herd mentality. When you go along with the mass consensus just to fit in and not look weird or different, to avoid being an outsider. Yet each of our souls have charted a path for our own unique soul's evolution here. And when you reclaim your sovereignty, your birthright to choose what is best for you individually, you return to that alignment with your true essence and your soul's blueprint. As you come to discover your own personal truths, you will be guided to go beyond the constructs of a fearful and threatening world, one where you believed you had to protect yourself just to survive. This allows your innocence to blossom forth and the purity of your soul's essence to shine through. We did not come to lead a life of protection, defense, justifications, or fitting in. We came to learn through those experiences that challenge all that we truly are, so that we may find ourselves once again as the brilliant and resilient light beings we have always been. So I guess I had asked already, but I am curious, when did you feel like your heart became hardened, or guarded? I guess that's a little different of a question. So can you remember a time in childhood when you first felt unsafe to be your true self? It's a little different wording. So I'm just looking at the comments quickly. Okay. So you were feeling poor and learned so much from that, and you were able to feel wonderful about yourself. You didn't care. Okay. Who have many souls? Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, as children, we look at the world through a fresh lens, and that's why it's so, I don't know, or it's so refreshing, invigorating to reincarnate, to start over, because as we go through our life, the baggage and all the programs, patterns, all the stuff can like layer on top, right? And that's really what we're talking about today. But as children, typically we really see and sense the magic and the awe and excitement and the adventure of life. And we're open to it, receptive to it, and usually there's a lot less fear. We kind of just follow what we're feeling in the moment. We're more spontaneous, and so not to mention we're a lot more playful. Goofiness is really present when we're kids, and laughter, and lots of laughter. So and like I said, this desire to explore all the world and all of the endless creative possibilities and potentials. But as adults, as so many of us probably can relate, life starts to feel boring, hard, and predictable. So I'm going to read another excerpt, and this is from my book. It goes like this. We often forget how to play when we are wrapped up in the conditions and expectations of the mind. But play is such a natural expression of our soul. When we feel space inside of our heart, we are like innocent children again. We don't feel silly playing hide and seek or naive engaging with others in lighthearted ways. We simply remember that this is how we are meant to feel in our day-to-day activities. We can play with life when we stop taking life so seriously, when we stop judging the unfoldment of our journey. So I'm going to repeat that last part again. We can play with life when we stop taking life so seriously, when we stop judging the unfoldment of our journey. When you can remember to laugh, especially in those moments that have toppled you over sideways, and you can lie on the ground, and instead of beating yourself up, you look up at the stars and simply view life from a different perspective, out of curiosity rather than condemnation. Then you can move through anything life hands you. So in this surrendered state, you can simply smile and know that your dream is a wondrous and wild expression of exactly what you need. So now there's quite a bit in that passage. What I am pulling out, is really about relaxing. And so, if we can fully relax and really come back to this present moment, so much opens for us. But when we're in our mind, our linear mind, and we are judging how things are going, how they've gone, judging ourselves, beating ourselves up, scared to make a mistake, and then beating ourselves up when we make these mistakes. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. And, the way I see it, and I believe this is in the book as well, that there really are no mistakes, and there's really just learning. And when you can sort of reframe it, it really helps. It's really helped me, anyway, to just be kinder and gentler with myself as I go along this journey. So that's very much related to relaxing. Relaxing and sort of calming our nervous system is a big part of this awakening and ascension process. Because our nervous system that's how our higher self it communicates with us, for one. And when that's compromised, then that connection it gets cut off, and we can't sense or hear or feel that larger part of us wanting to talk to us. So by relaxing, returning to the present moment, so much opens up and becomes possible. Even in meditation, we might sit there thinking nothing's happening, like, why am I doing this? And there could be many different thoughts, but at least for me, when I sit and meditate and relax, and meditation for me is just truly connecting with my higher self. That's really what it's about. But also just relaxing and quieting the mind, so it's not like all the time. So when we do that, I can even sense beings from a higher realm coming and working on me, my vibration rising, my energy shifting, changing. So things are happening, and as you become more sensitive, you're able to really feel that. And until you do, it just takes trust and faith to know, okay, I know I do feel better when I meditate. I don't know if maybe all the benefits, maybe I don't feel them yet, but you can trust that's really good things are happening. It's productive to relax and rest, which is an interesting mindset shift, because our culture is so like, got to do things, you got to accomplish things, otherwise you're not productive. But they don't see the point in resting and relaxing. So I would like to share with you another story, and this is a cool one, and it's about the power of relaxing. So I was getting a trigger point massage from a friend in Denver, and I had gone to her, several times before, and she So I got there, and she actually asked me, "Hey, would you like to smoke a little cannabis before?" Now, mind you, this is in Denver, so it's completely legal there. But anyway, so I did. I said, you know what? Let me try that. Why not? Because it can be painful when with trigger point therapy. If you've never heard of it, they push your muscles pretty intensely, and for me, it hurt so good. So I kind of liked it for sure, but also it's painful. So I was like, sure. So I actually smoked a little, and I laid down on the table, and I'm laying there, and I can feel that cannabis, the spirit of cannabis, is working with me to relax, and I can hear the guidance, relax more. Okay, relax more. Okay, so I'm relaxing more, and it continues, relax even more. How relaxed can you be? So okay, let's see how relaxed I can be. So I continue to relax, 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 and then my friend comes in the room, and she starts to do the trigger point therapy on me. And so, okay, so she started to push down right in the beginning, and it kind of hurt like it normally did. But I continued this relaxation protocol, if you will. So she's pushing. I'm feeling it's okay. It's kind of painful. But as I continue to relax, I kid you not, the pain starts to shift. And at some point, I'm feeling her fingers pushing on my muscles, and at this point has shifted completely to pleasure. So now every time she's pushing down, I'm feeling so much pleasure. And it was wild because it was the same movements, the same everything. And also, I could feel my Shakti or Kundalini moving and rising and moving through my whole body. So I'm having this full-on orgasmic experience while she's doing trigger point therapy, which most people would be like, what? That's not even possible. But it was. And the reason was because I fully relaxed. And I feel like so many of us, I don't know. I feel like probably most people, I don't know if we've just never tried that. Maybe you have. I'd be curious to know. Have you ever tried that where you just fully, fully, fully relaxed as you can be? But the results were pretty profound. So that's my story about, the power of relaxation. And it raises your vibration, right? So when we raise our vibration, we're able to be more lighthearted and fun and flowing and free, and our childlike innocence it's so much more available to us than when we're stressed and closed and tight and rigid, and judging everything and scared of everything. Like the difference is pretty vast, pretty big. So now, when you are in a higher vibration, have you ever noticed that you don't worry about those little things so much, those little details so much? You just you're kind of floating, you're kind of feeling good. It's like, oh, whatever. Person's like tailing me behind me, and I'm like, whatever, who cares? Whereas in like a lower vibration, like, get the heck off my tail, like, fuck you. So sorry, I hope no kids are watching. But you're just like, God. But in a higher vibration, you're like, cool, whatever. You just like da 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 da. So these things don't. So so tell me in the comments, if you would, how, when you're in a higher vibration, do you notice that? It's definitely something that I notice, that things just don't. Yeah, it's like it's not a big deal. You just feel good. You just feel good, it doesn't matter so much. So, yes, in this, we were entrained into this 3D programming and conditioning from the mass media, like I was saying at the beginning of this session, and these ancestral patterns. Oh, you know what? I already covered that. So. Oh yeah. So also the ways that we, hold ourselves back from reconnecting with our innocent heart is that, we aren't as open to new things manifesting in our lives that could look completely different from what we've experienced before, and we just kind of become like, we lose that possibility, and we believe that it can only go the way we've known it before. So this is another way that we lose touch with our innocent hearts, when we sort of become, resigned and cynical and like, ugh, you just can't open to that larger possibility like you can when you're little. But these are things that we can change, reshift, reprogram within ourselves. And so I did want to cover, let's see, non-judgment. So again, we were talking in this session about judgment, and judgment, it's like it's making assessments, creating stories, making meaning about everything, and all that meaning. And usually it's just these illusions and misperception due to our own ways that we have experienced life, due to our own traumas and unhealed places within us and limiting beliefs. So when we can instead come back to divine neutrality, so this is going to be a practice. And if you want to, start to practice it, just notice when a judgment comes up, and instead shifting that to this place of divine neutrality. So let's say someone's walking down the street and you think, oh God, that girl really shouldn't be wearing those jeans. That doesn't make her butt look very good. So, I mean, anyone could think that. You don't have to be totally ashamed or, feel bad. We all just have these thoughts continually running. And again, like, we've been conditioned and programmed to see things in a certain way. So basically, instead of that, you can just, bring it to a place of divine neutrality by restating that. So maybe saying like, oh, there goes, a woman walking on the road. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't even need that much, but just clearing the slate and, seeing things for what they are, not the story that you're painting on top of it. So this really does help us raise our vibration, come out of the heavier dimensional spaces, if you will, because the judgments really just keep us weighed down in this world that we think is so real, but it's all our own little illusions. So I did want to cover forgiving and letting go, and so you wouldn't. So if you so forgiveness is so important, right? Because forgiveness comes from judgment. And it's we're judging, what happened, and to forgive what happened. It really helps to know that everything has happened for us. That person who you perceive has judged you or hurt you, that you, in your highest expression, your higher self, planted that person there. Ask them to play a role for you. So. It's all yours. It's all on you. No, but really, I mean, it's funny that from this higher perspective, and these are the channelings I've brought through the information, is that it happened for a purpose, and that purpose is for your soul's growth. So that's a gift, which is wild to think, because we think these people have hurt us so much, and they attacked us, and they did these things, but hey, we asked for it because we want to grow as souls. So for me, that's definitely helped to forgive. I'm like, but you kind of have to keep coming back to that, like, oh, that's so weird. But okay, right. I asked for it, really, truly. And you're a gift. Thank you. Now, if we wouldn't even need to forgive if we had never even judged the situation, which is like totally a true trust and faith in this whole divine design. Meaning, if tomorrow someone comes and attack, let's say, robs you in your car, then the days following, I mean, look, we're human. I understand, like, you could be upset, whatever, like, that's fine. But just being able to know, like, again, it happened for you. It happened for you. What's the lesson, though? What's the goal in that situation? you don't want to continue going through the same lessons again and again. What we want to do is learn from that lesson and then, continue to shift and refine our creational process. So, all right, that time went so fast. I am going to lead you through a little meditation here. So I'm going to have you go ahead and get comfortable, preferably sit up straight so that line of energy can move through. And I'm going to have you close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to start. And I'll just have you begin by imagining that you are walking along a path. And this path is leading you through a magical forest. You feel the majesty of the trees that are taller than you've ever seen before. As you make your way along this path, you can sense the friendly and mystical beings all around you, there to support you as you may need. Up ahead, you see a big banyan tree, and you're guided to move toward it. You see an opening within the huge roots at the base of this tree, and you're prompted to go inside. As you step into this sacred space, you feel yourself transported into another realm of creation. Your body feels warm and tingly and light as a feather. And you've never felt so good. You look around and you realize that you are in a beautiful castle made of the highest vibrational crystals. Sunlight is streaming in from every direction and it kisses your forehead. And then you notice that you are not alone, that you are surrounded by every person that you have ever loved deeply. Each of these people form a circle around you, bathing you in love, appreciation, honor, and respect for the journey you have chosen to embark upon. They let you know vibrationally how you have impacted them so beautifully with your love, with your care, and your gifts. You feel so filled up with this energy that it overflows and radiates from your heart center. You are then prompted to call in someone you have had conflict or conflicts with in the past. The first person who comes to mind is exactly who it's meant to be. And as this person walks into the room, you sense that you have greater compassion for them than you previously have had. You stand facing this person, and you're prompted to reach into your heart center where this overabundance of light and love energy is flowing nonstop. And you send this ball of energy to the heart of the one before you. And this person is overcome with gratitude, as they have never felt anything like this before. You can sense both of your defenses coming down and melting into the purity of this divine moment that you are sharing together. This person before you sends the ball of energy back to you, and you feel it growing in size and magnitude. You send this ball of energy back to the person, back to the one before you, and it grows in size. And with tears in their eyes, this person says, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you." And you are moved by their offering. as they send this ball of love and light energy back to you. And it shines even brighter within your field. You are guided to return this offering. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You send this energy back to them, and it now encompasses their entire body, and they look radiant. You can now see them as their true expression and the purity of their crystalline heart. You couldn't see it before because of all the protective mechanisms that had clouded their radiance. You bask in this special moment of reconciliation and higher understanding. And as they send this ball of energy back to you, which encompasses your entire body, your entire being, you feel your body of light on fire with an almost overwhelming sense of unconditional love, divine love. As this energy burns away any impurities, distorted beliefs, and protective mechanisms that had once kept you walled off from others. All of this is being burned away on your behalf because you are willing, open, and receptive to a higher dimensional exchange of energy. And it feels so good and so true. One of your beloved and trusted spirit guides steps in and places a diamond light within your heart center. This diamond light symbolizes and amplifies the purity of your innocent heart. You have earned this gift as you have surrendered the fearful belief in separation, and you are asked to continue on this path toward higher realities where only love and harmony and peace exist. And when you are ready, you may gently wiggle your toes or fingers, slowly open your eyes, and return to this here and now. So I know that we're running a little bit over, and so I'm just going to start to wrap things up. I would love to know how you feel after the meditation. Maybe let me know in the comments what's one word that describes how you feel after that. So just one last little bit to remind you that you have nothing to prove. There's nothing to defend. And there's nothing to apologize for. You are divine. You are holy. You are whole. You are worthy. You are seen. And you are loved and adored. So I'm going to leave you with that. For the workbook play, there is a prompt in there to come up with one random act of kindness you would love to do for someone. So let us know in the group if you would like to, what you feel inspired to do, and let us know the story of it if you do it in the days following, days to come. And you know, so some of you, just to again to finish up here, some of you saw in the group that I'll be giving away some scholarships and gifts, like I mentioned in the beginning. I'm just going to quickly talk about that. So the scholarship is for an upcoming course that I'll be offering, and the gifts are 2 one-hour coaching sessions. So, you know, everything we're talking about this week, you know, you're going to have a chance to go deeper with me on that. And if you want to be able to join this course for free or half off, then just comment scholarship in the comments, and I'm going to send you the details for that. So I guess that's it. Wow, what a quick experience that was. I hope that you all enjoyed it very much. I'm excited for the next few days. We've got a lot of information to cover, a lot of awesome experiences, meditations. So thank you again so much for joining me and sending you all so much love today. Remembering that you are divine, we are divine, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Mm-hmm.